So this is Baruch Fleischman, and I'm back here at the Tikkun Elevator Kola with the fifth shir, the Ria Kodesh on Tiva Kavanos, Al Shara Kavanos. And when we say Kavanos, we mean what is the intention? Like if you're firing a weapon, you want to aim it properly. And the weapon here is our prayers. And what we're looking to do is get Hashem to love us because it's an automatic thing. Of course, He does love us, but let's say maybe the proper word is to show us His love, to make it possible for us to be able to receive it. And that's why we're really looking at all of these different things. Let's go over here and look at where we were the last time. I'm going to make sure I got us in the right place. Of course, the last time that we were learning the ARI, and he's really bringing us some deep insight into what is going on in the sod of the situation. So it really has to do with the Nesira, which we're going to pick up. But in the last year, the Rav told us a little bit about the tools of people like Haman. And particularly, let's just read this part right here. V'alsa atzasam l'harag es Mordechai v'letlosa ha'esh. So I guess he means that if it would have come about that they actually were able to capture Mordechai and then hang him on the tree. And the question was, what does the tree represent? And this is a little piece of magic or Kabbalah that I don't know. He says, Hu zanva shal nachosh, and the concept of the 50 amma tree is that it should become the tail of the snake. Hemshech regel kuf, which is the concept of extending the kuf. That there's this part of the letter right here is an extension. Kamavur Ritzlena, which we explained this last week, the Kaniska B'Sefer Zohar and Shir Hashirim, V'dai B'zeh, and the Zohar explains this in Shir Hashirim, and we're not going to go into it anymore right now. There's a whole lot to be said about it. So now we're up at the top over here, and it says, V'im Chas V'Sholem Kocha Ya'ala. So it should come out that, in fact, this is what they were going to do. In other words, they were going to be successful. Hang Mordechai, right? Wipe out the Jews. After that, they will be able to wipe out the Jews. But what happened then is Hashem, in His mercy, He shines the light from the upper nook, which is Bina. And this itself, this action, which I'm not saying that I got it understood 100%, He Gedulas Mordechai Esther. He's the greatness of Mordechai and Esther. Val Yadam Nosa Yisrael and Hatzaras. This saved the Jewish people from the Sarah Hagodla Ahi, commotion and voyeur, as we are going to explain. And now we're getting closer to the secrets. This is where we left off last time, but we're still going backwards, trying to pick it up. So he says I'm just reading the light print. If what Achashverosh and Haman, his wife Zeresh, all his 365 advisors, if all of the ideas that they came to would have actually succeeded, and what they wanted to do was make sure that Malchus no longer received any light. So we'll explain this maybe a little bit more. Hanikras Mordechai Hatzadik. Now let's read it again. Who is Mordechai? Mordechai Levatal as Aras Hanuk Hanikras Mordechai. So he's saying, I believe, that the Nukva the Zer Anpin Malchus is called by the name Mordechai. Bahare Ba'osa Zaman Lo Choisa Ha'ara B'Shmira B'Tzad Zer Anpin. At this particular time, there was no light coming from Zer Anpin. There was no guarding of Malchus that was coming from Zer Anpin, because he was dormiendo. If you speak Spanish, he was sleeping. And as a result of that, the Jewish people are no longer getting shefa either, because Malchus is dry. And they had the possibility, b'yada machshavdim, they thought the hashmit with the harag with the abed chas v'sholem to destroy us all. God forbid. So now we're reading on Kaf Aleph. So we'll read the light print again. In order to keep this from happening. I mean, there is an Ein Sof Baruch Hu. There is Hashem Yisbarach, the Benimis of the world, and all of the goals that the cancer that we understand is being mashpia down onto us. All of that would be mevatel as well, the bezman the dormita, because now is the time of sleep. And I think one of the main ideas that he wants to give us here is that darkness, sleep, is a, what's the right word? It's a preparation, it's a precondition for light. And it could be misunderstood. And as a person who studies psychology, let's say I'm a psychologist, you understand that this is like this in marriages too. That you have to realize that in order for real sweetness and goodness to come together, there got to be darkness, and you got to make your way through it, which requires a lot of patience. Okay, let's go on. Bismana dormita heir Hashem yisbarach barachama, then it causes Hashem in His mercy to shine. Ha'ara meyuchedet bebechinas nokel yona, a really specific light, a particular light from the nokel yona. Who's that? That's Bina. The ha'ara hazeh he bechinas Mordechai ve'Esther. Now he's saying previously, just want to keep track of the things he's saying. He said previously it seemed like he said that Mordechai represents Malchus, and now he's saying Hayir Hashem Yisbarach Barachma Ha'ara miyuchedet is a special light. Mebechinas nokel yona, come from the nokel yona, which is Bina. For ha'ara chazu he bebechinas Mordechai ve'Esther. So the rays that are coming down are the aspect of Mordechai and Esther. V'al yadim, and through them, nosi yisachom mechatzara, Jews, the Jewish people will be saved from our tremendous pain. V'gadola hahi, gamoshi yizbar v'chem shekadrash, as we're going to explain as this drush continues. Now we're into a little place in the Tiv Kavanos, where the Tiv wants to teach us a shtickle Torah. So we're going to go with it. And let's see how it goes, since we still have a few days before actually Purim is coming up. So let's see what I can do in order to get this onto the page. I think I can do it. So he says, so let's understand what we're talking about, these mochin. What are mochin? What are we talking about? So now we're going to say how things work generally. That is the process of creation, the process of our reality. Let me see if I can get this book so that it can be seen a little bit better. I think it's the best I could do right here. Okay, so we'll just hold it, like this. I have to hold it with my finger. I'll try to get down like that a little bit. Okay, do the best I can. Tehila Nevarak B'tzara Chesara HaSeder, the normal Seder, Harogel B'dera Klal. And this will help us tremendously in understanding what our subject is and why is this Nesira, that is the path of the real salvation of the Jewish people, which implies the yichud of Zachar v'Nuk, why it's so dependent on this situation and why it's so bad if Zer Anpin goes to sleep. So he said, now, normally, as we said before, and I don't have a drawing right now to show you, but I could, we have Abba is always inside of Ima, and they both enter into the head of Zer Anpin. In which part? That is in the Nai, their Nai, that is the Netzachod Yesod of Abba is inside of the Netzachod Yesod of Ima, and inside of them are Shefas specially designated for Zer Anpin. Shenosim Mochin B'Zer Anpin, and this Shefa is called Mochin. But the Akrayim Mochin is Zer Anpin. Now, why are they called Mochin? Al Shem HaMakum Elov Hem Niknasim, because they're going into his brain. That's why they're called Mochin. So, as I said, that's the reason. What's the word Mochin come from? It's brain power. Where's the brain power coming to? Where's it going to? It's going to the brains, which is the head. Oh, Shenikrayim Mochin de Ima. Or it says sometimes they're called the Mochin de Ima. Al Shem HaMakum B'menu Hem Boim L'Zer Anpin, from the place that they come into Zer Anpin. Let me explain this to you like this. Zer Anpin. So when Zer Anpin is born out of the womb of Ima, he really only has 6 spheros, which is called the Vav Kitzvahs. Hainu sheyesh lo vav sfiros. What are the vav sfiros? Which we said many times. Shem chesed gedvor teferes netzach hod yisod. V'chesed lo v'chaser lo adayim bechinas hamochim. But he doesn't have a Chabad. There's no chokhmah bina and das for zeranpeh. Shehem chokhmah bina das v'chakesed. Now, let's just stop right here, and we'll pick up in the next year. This is the end of the 5th year, giving us a little background on the concept that we need to know in order to be able to understand what's happening on Purim.